Hi, Jack Canfield here with another success resource. I'm sitting here with Cindy Ertman, who is the author and the head of an organization, and you have a program, and you do coaching, and you give speeches on the defining difference, and you're the CEO of the defining difference. So I want to know, what is the defining difference? And you talk about it in creating a shift in business leadership and a desire to support a transition from transactional business to relational business models. Talk about creating this shift. Then I'm going to ask you how you got to that point. But let's start by talking about what it is.
Well, I just see a real need for a shift in business, and I've sort of been testing this theory for a lot of years about kind of shifting from a transactional business model to relational. I think there's a real need to retain employees in America, in our corporations, and people don't feel cared for. There's not a great retention within companies in today's world. And I've really played with this within my own organization about really determining what people need and want for their own lives and how we can make them part of what we're creating within a company. Make them feel part of the organization by determining, what is the organization trying to accomplish and how do they feed into that goal, and making them really part of it. So it's a really meaningful shift in America, and I think we can make a big difference within organizations.
So you started out in, I think it was a mortgage brokerage business?
Correct.
How did you come from that to this? What was that aha or transitional moment? Was it sudden? Was it gradual? What happened?
Well, our business collapsed.
Well, there you go.
In 2007, and watching the pain that people went through that, it really just demolished the whole industry. And I watched people lose homes and lose careers and lose their business, and it was really a devastating time for many people. So in rebuilding that over the last many years, and we're still in devastation in that industry, but you really start to determine what people need to be successful and to rebuild. And I found in terms of sales organizations, and I've tested this in my own relationships with referral partners and my own clients, it's like the minute people understand what you do and why, the minute that you bring that forth in your business, you form a relationship with the person that you're in, and they understand that they're cared for and they're valued, and it's really about them and you're there to serve. We're in a service industry, but when my business shifted was when I really understood that I wake up every morning and I'm here to serve. And it's just a different mental state. So kind of creating that shift for people intentionally. I wake up every morning and go, I'm here to serve. Who am I going to serve today? And showing up fully, and then teaching people how to bring that forth in their everyday life within their business.
That's interesting. One of my mentors that I really look up to says that he wakes up every morning and he says to God, how can I serve more people more fully? Yes. And he knows as long as he's doing that, everything else will be taken care of. That's way cool. Now, in your new book, The Defining Difference, you talk about intentional choice, the impact of intentional choice. Talk about that a little bit. How does that work, and how does that impact your life?
Well, for many years, the defining difference, I thought, they really were more defining moments. And I really thought long and hard about what's really the defining difference. And I came over time to determine that it's not one thing, but it's really a choice, and that our choices matter. And it's very similar to your E plus R equals O, that it's, your events plus response equals outcome. We can really determine our future and create this entirely different paradigm if we are focused on outcome-driven choices. So I'll use my divorce as an example. I was in the middle of a really significant crisis in a 30-year marriage ending, and I really decided to stop and say, wait a minute, how do I want this to look at the end of this for my family, for my children, for my friends, for my ex-husband? And at the end of the day, I was able to truly create that. It was one of my greatest accomplishments, and I've helped teach a lot of other women to really focus on what's the outcome that you're trying to create. And you can really do that. And many people said, I could never do what you did. I said, well, you could, but you might have made a different choice. So we can really impact the course of our future and create this future that we want to create to really create a defining difference in our own lives through the choices that we make.
Very good. So if people want to find out about your book, about your consulting, your teaching, your speeches, all the things that you're available to do, where do they go and how do they do that?
TheDefiningDifference.com, and my email is Cindy@TheDefiningDifference.com.
So TheDefiningDifference.com and Cindy@TheDefiningDifference.com.
Right.
Very good. So if you want to have more intentional choice in your life and you want to bring that intentionality to create the outcomes that you want, to really look at what is it I want to create here and do that. Live life by design rather than by default. This is the go-to person here, Cindy Ertman. So I want to thank you very much for
Thank you,
being
Jack.
on
Really
this with
appreciate
me.
it. Pleasure to be here.
My pleasure always. So stick around. We'll be back after the break, and we'll see you in a few minutes.